The Joe Rogan Experience.
So everybody forever was like, Kamala Harris is the worst vice president. She's the least popular vice president of all time. And then in a moment in time, all of a sudden she's our solution. She's our hero. Everybody's with her. All these social media posts about her. Try Googling a negative story on her. You won't find one.
So,
ta-da!
Okay, you've got me started, Officer Harris. So, they've been doing this live for years. So in 2019, our pal Tulsi absolutely nuked her in that second debate. And
Right.
if you looked at charts at the time, she's kind of, Officer Harris is like doing okay. First debate, she comes out, Joe Biden, you're a racist. The Democrats were looking for an alternative to Bernie Sanders that wasn't Biden. She starts going up in the polls, right? Second debate comes out. Tulsi, being a good Hawaiian, knows how to roast the pig. Just completely slams her. Not only that, she has no counterpunch. She goes on Anderson Cooper and she's like, well, I'm a top-tier candidate, so of course people are going to take shots at me. That's her answer. She immediately starts going down in the polls. It's that day. You can see it on the chart I have on my Twitter. All the articles at the time that did an autopsy on Kamala Harris's failed campaign didn't mention Tulsi once.
Yeah.
It was BBC, LA Times, Reuters, New Yorker. A guy from the Washington Post just did a piece looking back on her campaign, didn't mention Tulsi either.
Isn't that wild?
They completely pretend it didn't happen.
Well, it just shows you that what they're looking for is not what they say they're looking for.
Yes.
Because she is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas twice. She in a medical unit, so she got to see people blown up by the war. She was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want. All those things you want.
But
and
she's
yeah,
not-
you don't want her.
Because she's not for war.
Yes.
'Cause
Well,
she's not for
she's
the war
also
mission.
just not willing to play ball. There's a game that's being played. And if you're like, hey, you're not supposed to fucking move the ball. Like, oh, look at this bitch over here. Like, get out of here. You're going to fuck up our game. It's not real democracy. It's controlled parties.
Did you see that piece by Seymour Hersh that dropped over the weekend about the coup?
Yes. So explain to people what Seymour Hersh, I don't know if he's right, but he seems to be right a lot. And he was right about the Nord Stream pipeline, right?
What I was saying, and a lot of other people were saying, is the big issue is how do you get Biden out of the White House? So here's Biden's case. He's like, look, I got Trump out of the White House last time. I'm only behind 2 or 3 points in the polls. Kamala's polling worse than me in like 8 out of 10 polls. I won these delegates. Why the hell should I back down? And that's a very solid case. Jill, for the first time in her life, people care about her. She matters. As Hunter put it, I have it exactly here. She's a selfish, silly, entitled cunt. That was how Hunter described her.
Whoa.
Yeah, we have the text. And then all the public pressure, Biden, you got to drop out, Biden got to drop out, Biden got to drop out. Nancy Pelosi's a gangster. I wouldn't want to fuck with her. I wouldn't want to fuck with Mitch McConnell. These people don't mess around. And everyone said, or a lot of people said, they're going to have to go to threats. Because why else would he step down? He's earned it, that presidency, and he's earned the nomination.
But if there was ever a time to invoke the 25th Amendment, wouldn't you think this is the time?
Sure, but I don't think hold on. Here's the thing. Let's talk about this. So Seymour Hersh, who's been around D.C. since the 60s, I believe he wrote The Dark Side of Camelot, if I'm not mistaken. He had a thing on his Substack that goes, Biden got the call, and it was Obama, Pelosi, former Speaker of the House, Chuck Schumer, Majority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, current House Minority Leader of the Democrats in the House, and they said, we got Kamala on board to invoke the 25th. If you don't drop the nomination, you know that's going to happen. The thing is, you were saying they're not invoking the 25th. He's still president.
Right, but I'm saying if there was a time that they were going to do that, this would be that time.
It was that time 4 years ago.
Right, but
it's been that time.
But clearly now, right?
Well,
more than ever before.
Why?
It's
'Cause it's
deteriorating.
public?
No, it's deteriorating.
I don't think he's gotten that much worse.
Oh, he's gotten a lot worse. There's a video that compares him from 2019 to 2024. It's a marked difference.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a big difference between 2022 and 2024. There's like a 2.5 hour compilation of the campaign in 2020 where he forgets Obama's name.
Yeah, that's true. He had those gaffes back then, but they're constant now. Like he's barely hanging on.
He was fine to State of the Union. I think it's like sundowning, you know, like
Okay.
What?
You think there's a body double?
that guy walked very differently than Biden.
Very
you saw
differently.
that.
He's
It's
a lot
on-
taller.
It's on Scott Adams' Twitter. I saw that. I'm like, am I Alex Jonesing today?
No, he's a lot taller.
Yeah.
No, he's physically taller.
Yeah, okay.
And he walks way better. Like, as someone who, like, you watch Biden walk, he had a stiffness. Like, death was coming for him.
And before everyone
You know?
freaks out, has their mousetraps and their heads go off, I think there should be more presidential body doubles because one president almost got murdered. So if we have ways to keep them safe, let's use them.
Okay, that's a good thing to say. We cover our ass there. And now, and now here's another thing to say. In the interest of national security, like, let's imagine a scenario where Biden is deathly ill and Kamala is not really capable of taking over as president right now. And there is, like, who's next? Speaker of the House. So
Sure.
Nancy Pelosi? No, who's it now?
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson, right? So that would be him next. So that's a dangerous moment in terms of national security, even though everyone knows that Biden's, really having problems and is not actually running the show. I could see why they would want to use some body doubles for that.
Of course.
If the guy's in a hospital somewhere. But this guy, let's look at it, because this guy,
please play it.
He don't walk like him. He's taller than him. It looks like he gained, went back in time 7 or 8 years.
This is the Weekend at Bernie's prequel.
Well, this is like master gaslighting and propaganda is what it is. Like, to show you that there's, what was it in 2000 and I forget what year it was, where I believe it was during the Obama administration. Look at the size of this guy.
This isn't the clip I saw.
He's so much bigger. Look how big he is. He's so much bigger than Jill. He's so much bigger. Like, he gained a legitimate 6 inches. Look how tall he looks. Look at it.
Wait, Jamie,
the
there's one
she's
on
wearing heels as well.
Jamie, there's one on Scott Adams' Twitter.
This is from his Twitter.
Oh,
But let's
no,
watch-
it's the one he's walking to the helicopter.
Let's watch this again. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
That's another one. That's a similar one too, where you see it one more time. Let's see him walk again. So, look how much bigger he is than Jill.
Holy shit.
He towers over her. He didn't used to tower
I didn't see
over
this
her
clip
like
before I
that.
saw the other one.
And also, if you look at her, she's wearing high heels. See?
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're
See
right.
her high heels? Okay, and he's towering over her. That is a much taller person.
They show a picture.
So maybe they hooked him up with some fucking secret sauce that's going to keep him going, and he'll be back. Maybe they have ability to go back, biologically.
Oh,
Take you
wow.
back
Oh, wow.
a decade or two. Yeah. Giant difference.
Well, hold
in
on.
height.
Is that because she could be behind him? So the
No,
angle-
listen, she also has high heels on, man.
No, but on the left, it could be that she's
No.
standing.
That's a different human.
There's
Look at the size difference of the torso.
them walking to the helicopter is the one where it looked really.
Go back to
different
that, please. Look at the size differences in the torsos themselves, from the top of his shoulders to where.
Oh, look how many buttons. Yeah, look at the white of the shirt.
Yes, just look at the size difference. Look how much longer that human is on the left. Now, it may be Biden. Listen, they might have some wild shit that brings you back from the dead.
But-
medical science is getting there's some people out there working on some wild stuff.
But do you know-
maybe they just fucking jolting him up with some Wolverine juice. He's
Do
like,
you- Well, Wolverine juice is going to make you taller, but here's the thing. In the same way in the 60s, if you sat on the show and said Liberace's gay, people would yell at you because
Right.
you've never seen him sucking a dick.
right.
People right now will be like, it's impossible. Why would they do a body double?
No, I
That's
don't think
ridiculous.
they would be. I don't think they would be anymore.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't
no.
think there's a lot of people listening right now who think you're crazy?
My parents, regular people.
Your
no.
parents don't listen to this show. They got shit to do.
No, they don't. But if they did, they're boomers. They're
course.
full on. They're full on.
Not listening to this.
You got to keep Trump out of the White House. What you're seeing right here, it really looks like a different person. Now, why are we saying that? Because it actually does look like a different person. We're not making something up. Okay, I don't do that. I don't pretend. I don't lie. I'm not a type of person that looks at something like that and I have a propaganda thing I'm trying to push. Like when people say, this version of Joe Biden is the best version ever. Intellectually, I'm telling you, he's on point. That's not real, right? I don't do that.
We were also told for years
why.
that these are selectively edited clips and deep fakes. That's why.
No, they call them cheap fakes.
Yeah, cheap fakes. Excuse
That's what
me.
she's
Yes,
calling them cheap.
yes.
First of all, it's very expensive technology.
What
Took a
was-
lot of money to produce.
The cope with the debate, first I heard people say it was the fault of the lighting. I don't know what kind of lighting, unless it's some kind of space
It was
lasers.
after his bedtime.
But what kind of lighting makes you say we beat Medicare? Then people said the mic was fucked up. Well, if your mic is fucked up, why can't you breathe? So it was amazing how all the explanations didn't explain what we all saw with our own
Well,
eyes.
we can't gaslight. You know, we got on. I know everyone's doing this because this is how everyone's done this. I don't think you can do it this way anymore.
No, what I'm saying is, well, for George Soros to be anti-Semitic, you're anti-Semitic.
Right.
If you're going after Officer Harris, you're either racist or sexist or ableist.
Right.
So they will use
Ableist.
Yeah, because she's a retard.
Jesus.
She's literally retarded. I mean, Ukraine is a country in Europe, and Russia is another country and a powerful country, and Russia invaded Ukraine, and that's wrong.
What's really important is what can be unburdened by what has been.
I think of her as America's wine mom because bitch seems like she's 3 deep by noon, and she's got the 3 phases of wine mom. She's got happy drunk. Oh my God, this cereal's got a rabbit on it. It's so great. Cackling, cackling, cackling. Then there is trying to drunk at work, where you're trying to make sense, but you don't. Space is around us all and unites us all and inspires us all. And then there's I'm being stern so you don't realize how plastered I am, and I'm making a point. That little girl was me. Now I'm going to go upstairs and don't knock on the door because I'm going to pass out. So those are her 3 ways she talks, and those are the wine mom phases.
Do you think they have her medicated? Because there was a guy that was speculating that some of the things that she says, the way she's sort of disconnected sometimes. And
I don't
she
know
goes
what-
on these rambles that it's
I don't
indicative of certain anti-anxiety medication. I do not know if this is true. See if you can find that, because really
That
shouldn't
would
say
make
that
s-
about
that would
our
make s-
future president.
Yeah, yeah.
She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win.
She absolutely can win. I do not think she's going to win because the more she talks, like in 2020, how bad do you have to be that you can't even make Iowa? She couldn't even compete with the mayor of South Bend.
I feel like we are in this very bizarre time where people are giving in to the bullshit in a way that I never suspected people would before. And
We
this is
saw this
one,
in-
they just want no Trump no matter what, and they're willing to gaslight themselves to think that. And by the way, I think Hillary could win. If Hillary jumped back in.
I've been saying that for months.
If Hillary jumped back in, I think the problem was also the money, because there was it was like $250 million in the campaign fund that has
Sure.
if it
Right.
only works if
Right,
she's on the ticket.
right.
So that's part of the problem. But I feel like Hillary could win. Like, she won the popular vote in 2020.
Hillary,
or in
I've been
2016,
saying this
rather.
for a year in different shows, and she would have won in pretty.
Michelle Obama could win too.
No, I don't
if
think
she
she
wanted
can.
to do it. You don't think so?
I don't. I think that's kind of this. You sound like your parents. I think that's this boomer idea. She doesn't want it.
I'm not saying that she would be awesome at it. But I think
anyone can win of either party.
Yes.
Whoever the nominee is. Like even Chris Christie could have won if he's the Republican nominee. It's
I would
possible.
have thought that Trump getting shot would, like, that's it, election's over. But it's like they
no.
memory hold that so quick.
You would have thought Trump getting shot would have had 8 years of corporate journalists talking about hate speech causing violence to be like, let's take a step back. And that went for what, a week?
They did take a step back
For
for
a
a little
week,
bit.
for a week.
And then they went right back at him.
You want to talk about this memory holding?
Yeah.
With the insanity of the who's that? That was Elon who put up. Like if you Google President Donald, it says President Donald Reagan.
No, I tried it.
What happened?
Maybe they fixed it. It said President Donald Trump.
Okay. Well, he had a screenshot, so I'm sure he
Yeah,
didn't Photoshop
no.
that.
I mean, it's based on a lot of things, right? Like what people are searching for. I would imagine that the assassination attempt on Trump would be the first one that you would see.
Yeah.
Assassination attempt on President
Right.
It'd be Trump, because that's the most recent.
Yes.
But it's not.
And most newsworthy.
But it does show it. You just have to type it all in, which is interesting, because that little difference between what you can find and what you get presented immediately has a huge shift in the way people access information. And this is Robert Epstein's work.
The creepy line, the documentary, everyone should watch it.
Yeah, and this thing is very real. And what it is like if you try to Google certain negative stories, like negative stories on people, it will overwhelm you with positive stories. It'll take a long time before you get to the negative stories.
Yeah, how he explained it is here's how they can tip the scale.
Yeah.
If I Google Hillary Clinton, and I have it so Google gives fairly positive stories about Hillary as the first 10 results, you're not going to go to the second page. If I Google Donald Trump and Google gives you 7 negative stories, it's going to move the needle a little bit toward her
Quite
and
a
against
bit.
him. Yeah.
Quite a bit. Like if you're a person who's on the fence, you're like, maybe Donald Trump's not a bad guy. And then you Google him, and then you start reading some of these like pieces that they've written about him. It'll change your perspective.
You really think she's going to win?
I'm saying it because she could. I'm not saying it
She, of
because I
course,
think
could.
she's going to, and I'm not saying because I want her to. I'm just being honest. Like I could see her winning.
I think she's going to lose a lot of the black male vote.
Really, that's.
I don't think
interesting.
they're going to go in the booth and pull the lever for her like they did for Biden, who was Obama's boy.